Hello, I am Peter Okwacha. Welcome to Focus on Africa. Our top stories. DR Congo's lost children, allegedly abducted and trafficked from home and put up for adoption in Belgium.
One day the kids were playing and a car arrived. Someone called out their names. Jacques went inside to get his shoes, and when he came back, the car had already left with the children.
50 years since the beginning of the Troubles in Northern Ireland, we ask if there are any lessons they can learn from South Africa's own peace journey to reconciliation. All aboard. After 3 years of suspension, a much-needed service resumes between Kinshasa and Kasangulu in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Also on the program, Surf's Up. In Nigeria, yes, that's right, Nigeria, we meet one of the country's most ambitious young surfers.
I decided to start surfing out of curiosity, actually. I'm going to be the #1 professional female surfer. That's how passionate I am about it.
And also in sport, not long to go before Liverpool face Chelsea in the UEFA Super Cup in Istanbul. Thanks for joining us here on Focus on Africa from BBC World News. A court in Belgium is investigating an orphanage for allegedly abducting and trafficking children from the Democratic Republic of Congo. The children were brought to Belgium and adopted by families who had been told they were orphans. Years later, DNA tests have proved that in some cases they were not. It started in the village of Genema in 2015, where some families had sent their children to what they thought was a holiday camp in the capital, Kinshasa. The children never returned. 2 years later, the families that lost their children had an unexpected visit from 2 Belgian journalists who were investigating adoption fraud in their country. They believed the children were being abducted from remote parts of the DRC, transferred to an orphanage in the capital, and then into the arms of unsuspecting adoptive parents from Belgium. DNA checks matched children in Belgium with families in the DRC. The investigators eventually met the parents in the DRC and were able to record a message to take back to their children in Belgium. Here's a clip of one of them.
He was my favorite child. I love him so much. He is so intelligent, and I was counting so much on him. If I had the money and I lived in Kinshasa, my child would already be back here with his family. I did not sell him. Those who are saying these are wrong.
L'histoire est qu'un jour ils sont réveillés, ils jouaient à la maison et puis ils ont vu un véhicule.
One day the kids were playing and a car arrived. Someone called out their names and they had to go with the car. To Jacques they said, "You're not wearing your sandals, go get them." Jacques went inside to get his shoes, and when he came back, the car had already left with the children.
Let's get more on this extraordinary story now and talk to Kurt Vertelaars, who uncovered this tale with his colleague Benoit Dofrien. Kurt, please explain to us how this story broke.
Well, a few years ago, through contacts, I got aware of this adoption fraud. I investigated for several months under the radar in Belgium about how this, who the people were that were involved. And after 4 months of investigation, I traveled to Congo, to Kinshasa, and later on to Gemena, and tracked down the biological parents of kids that were at that time in Belgium and being raised as orphans.
And do we know how many kids could have been abducted in this way?
Well, there is absolutely no idea of that. We know that the orphanage or the people behind the orphanage used Belgium for at least a few dozen